Tennis. Well, let me get the
Venus.
screen out here. Tennis Tillman and Thursday Night Mythology.
Yes.
How are you?
Excellent, brother.
Good, good, man. It's always nice to have some good vibes. I had a good day myself going today, and
How are you?
I was really excited
Excellent,
because
brother.
we've been talking about some really cool characters. If you guys have noticed, we've been really talking about some black female characters, and we decided we were going to talk about Auset or ISIS, right, as she's known. So I've got it. I think I've got a full plate for a setup on some stuff I want to talk to you about this figure. I'll say myself, she seems like one of the most talked about deities, like out of all mythologies.
Hmm.
The fact that she is this figure, Aset, right? Obviously, in Kemetic beliefs, she's transitioned, and Isis is something that's been taken by a much, European culture has well embraced the image of the goddess Isis, right? They love Isis. There's Isis has been in comic books. Isis has been in cartoons. Isis is like they've embraced the character Isis, right? And even in Wiccan belief system, there are people who venerate uh, Isis as a mother goddess. So like just in terms of her influence, she has to really be at the top of the list of one of the most influential mythological figures, right? What would you say?
Oh, absolutely. She's very important. She's one of the most important Kemetic deities in the Tree of Life, number 9.
Mm-hmm.
Very important because when you're part of the Tree of Life, according to the Kemetic Tree of Life, she's in there along with her husband, Nasar. So, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Now you kind of brought up, okay, so I wanted to kind of talk about her in a couple of ways because there's some significant ways that some significant roles that she plays. Obviously, she plays the role of the wife of Asar, and which is an incredible story if you listen to their story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she literally is, as far as I can tell, the only person responsible for bringing somebody back from the dead, right? Unless I'm missing some other mythology, seems like she's the only one who brought somebody back from the dead. Okay,
Yes.
so that's a significant part. That's a massively significant story.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's her in the role of the mother to Heru. So not only does she does leads this great event of resurrection, then she turns around. She gives birth to the avenging son, the one who would actually tame chaos in the kingdom, represented by Set, right? Okay,
Yes.
and she does all this stuff in like a day. I mean, right? Like she resurrects Asar, and then okay, but she and then she gets pregnant, and then she, I guess, has a period before she gives birth, right?
Right.
Okay.
You know, because I mean, of course, she's seen as the mourning mother and all this kind of stuff. I don't think of her that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She to me, she's a very powerful person.
Yes.
Her magical power transcends a lot of the other Kemetic deities.
Yes. Yes. She is
Very,
that. Yeah.
yeah, she's very powerful. So
Yeah.
she's not, a pushover.
Right.
She's a
No, by
very
no
protect.
means.
Yeah, she's a very protective person.
Yeah.
And the stuff that I know and read and researched about her, um, she would be a lot like a lot of other mothers would be. She's a very protective mother.
Yeah.
She is a role model for people. I mean, she's powerful.
She's very powerful. This is some of her symbols: was the cow's horn, the goose, the kite bird, scorpion, the sparrow, the swallow, the cobra, the
Yep.
sycamore tree, the sistrum, red jasper, and green jasper were some of her symbols.
Yes. And the reason why I kind of look at Auset as a mother figure. I just watched the movie yesterday called Claudine. You ever seen that movie,
With Diane
Carol?
Diane Carroll. Yeah,
Beautiful
yes,
movie.
yes, yes. Yes.
That is a perfect representation of who Auset would be like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just a very powerful figure, man, as a mother of all these children, a very nurturing person. And a lot of people don't realize that nurturing also results in teaching,
Right.
mentoring. Okay, all of these things has a part of her when it comes to the nurturing aspect of Auset.
Yes. That's 100% true. That is 100% true. And she is so here's what she's supposed to be, so through mythology what they associated with her with. She is
Mm-hmm.
considered the goddess of health, marriage, domestic life, womanhood,
Yes,
fertility,
right.
purification, weaving, nature, magic, family, and
Mm-hmm.
wisdom. Those are what she is associated with. She is considered to be uh, gentle with, sympathetic to slaves, sinners, artists, and the downtrodden. She is known as being gave birth to the sacred bull of Memphis.
Yes.
So she has, I mean, like, okay, speak on that. Speak on what her associations are, what you pull out of that.
Well, I mean, you've covered a lot of it. I mean, I see her. She's a healer, a person who cures the sick. Okay, she brings the deceased back to life. I mean, she does a lot of things. She's like I said, she's a mother role model. And I mean, just what you just said is a plethora of her. She has these many different aspects, but I like the part where she brings the death back to life.
Yes,
That,
yes.
that's a powerful, powerful thing to be able to do. And a lot of the other ones can't do that. A lot of the other deities can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, there was no one spoken of who has done that feat. So
No.
for anyone who doesn't know the story, Asar is killed by Set for whatever
Yep.
Set's motivations were,
Yep.
and cuts him up into is it 13 pieces?
Yes.
13 pieces. Which that 13 number is significant for a reason I can't think of.
Oh no.
So he gets cut up in pieces. She actually hunts down all the pieces, puts them back together, makes the first mummy, and then
Mm-hmm.
this is with she's getting some advice from who would she be getting advice from at this period of time?
Is she getting advice? Well, I know with her and her sister Nephews,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. So they come together, and I'm trying to see
And I think
if it
Anpu is involved in it.
yes, Ampu was involved in it, and I believe Tahuti.
And I'm yeah. The way I hear the story is that Hootie is telling her the spell to do it. Like this is the
Yes.
process that you would have to do. And
Right.
so bringing somebody, and let's also say that Nephthys is also very very powerful goddess
Mm-hmm.
herself. Had also great, and it took the magic of both these two powerful goddesses and some help from Anpu and some guidance from Jehudi to do this feat. So she brings him back. She brings him back, and of course, this is when they have their union that would create Heru. And then after the Heru is conceived, literally Set busts in because Set's not having it, and he kills Asar again, and she's able to flee with with the baby in womb.
Yeah. That's there's a lot of stories that are similar to that, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you got some the biblical story kind of thing, have other stories. But yeah, I mean, Seth wanted to have his way and to rule,
Yes,
right? And that was his whole premise. His whole purpose was to do that.
yes,
Now, there's some different type of variations of the story on why he wanted to do that. Okay. He felt it was rightfully his.
mm-hmm.
Okay. And he felt he should do that. And so dealing with Asar, okay, they already had this, I call it sibling rivalry, this whole family issue,
Yes,
like a lot of families do. So that's kind of what I'm looking at it from that particular story as far as I'm seeing him. Now, is Set an evil person? You
Look,
know,
look. The way I understand the story is that, you know, the way that Anpu got here is
yep,
Asar is his father and Nephthys is his mother, which is
yep.
problematic because Nephthys was also Set's wife. So I assume that that's why he would then kill his brother. That's just me. So can I say he was bad for doing that, or can I say, well, what do you expect? It's Set. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, I understand that Seth could not give any children, so he
okay, yeah, I mean, I get that too, but this is Set. Look, you're trying to have this is Set. All right, I'm not. I, this is how I would expect him to respond.
I guess if you're looking, would it be like the issue with Spawn?
No, I mean, I think it's even worse than that. This was his. Look, you're my brother.
Yeah,
You're already married to Auset, who's like the
yeah,
baddest chick in the entire universe, and the
yeah.
next baddest chick in the universe is Nephthys. Now you're gonna take both of them? I mean, it's too
Well,
disrespectful. It's too
but
disrespectful. I understand Seth's position.
see, that's
Oh,
hard though.
huh?
Because that's hard. That's a
It,
hard thing because what if you can't? I mean, if you want a family, you can't give any children. I mean, what do you do?
okay, maybe that should have taken some diplomacy, a
It could have
conversation.
been. They
Okay,
could have talked about that. Say,
they
hey,
need to
man,
talk about this one, man.
yeah, let's bring this. Let's put this on the table.
Yeah,
Right?
let's put this on.
You see
You
what we
are
got?
associated with the desert and infertility. Okay,
Yeah,
so that could have been a conversation. You know, she wants a baby. Come on.
but I mean, I'm kind of, I don't know, man. I'm kind of mixed. I got mixed, thoughts about that because
Well,
he should have talked to him about it. It could have had, they could have came to some agreement, right?
yeah,
If you
something can
can't give
happen.
any children
Yeah,
and somebody else can, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
what do
yeah,
you do? Because you'll never have anything,
yeah.
like never.
Never.
So, I mean, what do you do with that?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of how I saw it. What that was me, what would I do in a situation?
Look, I
Would I
can't.
really be mad about it?
Look.
Say, would I really be upset to the point where you want to, now if you went behind my back and snuck and, you was devious about it, well,
Yeah, that's one thing.
right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that. It was more of an open thing.
I mean, look, all I'm saying is this is what happened. You did this, and this is what happened, and that's what I would expect to happen with Set, and it did happen.
It
So
did.
I mean, like I can say that. That's look. When I'm as from what I knew about Set, as I'm reading the story, I was not surprised that that's what he did. I always still wonder: is set it off a derivative of the term set? You know what he's going to do. He only has one way of really responding to stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I can see what you're saying about that. I just, based on him, I'm trying to be a little bit more sympathetic to his side.
yeah, no, I'm with you. I have no issues. I have issue with what he did later. Okay, with
Yeah,
Haru.
he did the brother dirty.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
we can, right, that's hands down,
yeah,
right? You did
yeah.
him dirty. I mean, you could have been a little bit more understanding of, hey, you did this thing,
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
what? But to do all what he did, yeah. That's the anger part. That's the uncontrolled
That's
part
the uncontrolled
of a person.
part. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's chaos. Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever gotten upset about something and then you realize maybe that wasn't such a good idea,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Have you ever you're right, you just exploded.
Yes.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have,
Yeah.
got angry. I mean, people, do things and you go, what was it all about? When it was at that moment of anger, at that moment of, right, of emotion, and all of a sudden it's uncontrolled,
Yeah.
like a volcano explosion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is not our Sarah's attitude. This is Set's attitude. So we know,
Yes, we know.
but that's why he has to be put in his place, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, because,
Yeah.
Set is a person, man, that'll really ask too much questions,
Yeah. That was
right?
his way.
I mean, I know people, right? If you're, hanging out with some dudes,
Right.
right? Y'all get into an argument, and
Right.
like, hey, bro,
Yeah.
right? And then next thing you know, it's, oh, what happened to him? He knocked the dude to the floor, but he even asked no questions.
Yeah.
Right? Just not, you know, he had a set type of attitude. You know,
Yeah.
you need one in the group.
Yeah, that's who he was. That's what he was gonna do.
Right. He did it great. This is true.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, yeah, he could have handled it differently.
He could have handled it. But he gets us to this point where, you know, Aset resurrects. So she performs a resurrection.
Right.
And then she goes into hiding because she is, you know, with child and she's weakened. Remember, she's just expended all of her magic in a resurrection. This isn't easy.
Right.
So she has to go into hiding. And this is where her story gets interesting because she is weakened. She's vulnerable. She's among regular people, like, and they don't even treat her well, you know. So you talk about some of the biblical kind of similarities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's being treated poorly, and to me, this is a part of her that made her different from other deities or goddesses, particularly. Like, if you look at, you know, we talked about this before. We look at, you know, Sekhmet, you know, Hathor, who never knows defeat, you know, so she's pure confidence, whereas Auset is a lot more, you know, she's been down there before, you know. Is that, what do you think about that part of the story, or at least as I've heard it?
Yeah, I believe that. I'm thinking more of some uncertainty, right? You got to hide the child, right? So, and then you're not very well received, so that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like everybody is saying, hey, we understand, right? We come, you know, and get a protection among women, get a secure type of connection. No, it wasn't that. It was the opposite. Yeah. It's almost like being alone in a situation like that. And you got to deal with everybody who's got the naysayers, I want to use.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? In a situation like that, that's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
Okay, you know, coming from a person who just spent all her energy performing things, and now I've got to flee because, right, it's still not safe.
Yeah. It's
still not safe. And she wants a place where it's security.
Yes.
She wants a place where there's right to be welcome. But when you're not, yes, it's hard. It's hard. Have you ever been in a situation like that? I mean, where you're not very well received? I feel like the outcast instead of being a part of the group.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
It's pressure.
Yeah, it's a very you know, oddly humanizing aspect.
Yeah, absolutely.
For this powerful you know, deity, and that, for me, that's always what set her apart.
Yeah,
you see my man in the comments, Jay Sackman said he understands Set's mentality. He says he understands Set's mentality. So it's also very humanizing for Set as well.
Yes, right. You know, I really sympathize with Aset because when you are a person, okay, when you're not a part of the group, when you're not a part of the clique, I want to say an outcast, but you're separate from the group. You're not received as a part of the group. That's pressure in itself. Imagine if you have to deal with that every day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, you want support, so you're not getting support either.
Right.
Okay? So now you got to think about what they're thinking about, plus what you're thinking about.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm completely, you know, I'm right there with her.
Yeah.
Set, he's a person, man, that needs to be, you know, utilized in certain areas.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I worked in law enforcement. I worked in law enforcement for a while, and there are police officers I know like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't ask no questions, man. They'll go in there, man, and just like Hulk, man. They'll come and bust in there and say, "Hey," right, and just snatch somebody up.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know, we've had situations like that. I worked in security for, you know, a number of years. I worked in places where you need a set in the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
To deal with some people, man, who feel, you know, they got a spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But after taking care of somebody, they realize, hey, we need somebody to be checked.
Yeah. Well, and that was part of his role. Like he fought the Apep snake, right?
Yeah.
Every night. And that's
Yeah.
one of the things that Set himself says, I slay the enemies of Ra. That was his role. And so I've kind of argued back and forth with some people about what Set's role. I'm like, well, Set represented chaos, really, was what he represented. And chaos is a necessary part of
It's a necessary part. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm with the brother.
Yeah, we gotta be with Set, man.
Yeah, we with the brother, man.
Yeah.
But it has to be controlled chaos, and that's his issue.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
but Auset, absolutely, man. She went through a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I really embrace that because I could understand, that part of her. Just dealing with the whole aspects of her emotional well-being as far as the human as part of it.
Yeah. No, it's an incredible. To me, it's one of the just deepest mythological stories. Like it really has a lot of symbolism in it. It really defines her, as a figure that we would see just repeated. She would just be repeated, all over other mythologies as well.
Yeah, I mean, I shared with you about some. You mentioned about the television series, the comic books, but she's very important because she's in different areas all over the place.
Yes.
Right. I understand also she's in the Vatican.
Mm-hmm. In the Vatican.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are some of the things that people are probably not aware of. And so, these things are important in history part because, of course, she's spread all over the earth in some form, some shape, some form, and all these other things as the mother of things. So, yeah, he's really big.
Yeah, and someone earlier had mentioned, in the comments had mentioned how many names that she had. It's just a testament to how, I'm looking at a list here of all the various faiths or kingdoms that venerated her in some way. We know about, obviously the early Egyptian, the Kemetic civilization, the early Egyptians, the Greco-Roman period, Akkadian, she's mentioned in Akkadian mythology.
Yep.
Pre-Babylonian, Meroitic mythology as well. Mm-hmm. Coptic, Hebrew, ancient Greek, Arabic mythology. Just endless iterations of this particular goddess.
She's very big.
She's huge.
And I didn't realize just how big until you take a look at that, right?
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that part of it? About as big as she is, and the more reading and researching I do on her, the bigger it gets.
Yes.
Because it's
shockingly it's shocking how much she's connected into other mythologies. It's shocking. Most of them it's pretty, it's pretty plain as day where her role was at at really the apex. We look at, of course with these belief systems, they're always defined by their triads, right? Like the pairing of the three. And to me, Aset, Asar, Heru is like the ultimate, triad. It was, you think about his power, Asar's and his role, and then Heru's role, and then what her role is. It's tough, man. That's got to be a power set there.
Well, it's, when you're looking at something of that magnitude, when you mention mother, right, that would be a protective role like that, right? That would be these protective mother roles. Mother roles are essential. It's like almost like the spirit tip of things, right?
Yeah.
So that would be, to me, she's connected to someone like Ma'at, someone, that's a motherly type of thing, a protective type of thing. And it's kind of all over the place. Ma'at is all over the place, just like she would be. A motherly and then you have this. I mean, there's different aspects of it. What I'm saying is, she blends into all these different cultures all over the place. So it's very. I mean, it's world renowned, if you want to say that. She's world renowned. Okay, Auset is. So, I did this reading, and it's just bigger. I wanted to find out a little bit more about her in the television series, because that was what I was influenced by.
Okay.
But I didn't know that the ISIS TV show was Auset from Ancient Kemet.
Right.
That. I mean, I wasn't even out, that just blew my mind. I watched every episode. Missed none.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I find out that, this is Auset, I was just like,
yeah, it's that
right?
connection. That's a powerful connection.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I did not know that part of it. And so that was one of my favorite TV shows next to Wonder Woman.
Yeah. No,
So,
I love that show. I love that show. I remember that.
And so I look at some of her powers and things that she has. I mean, it says, according to what I read, her powers equal Superman and Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Storm.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I said, oh, man. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
That would be a nice versus.
That would be a great versus. Yeah. That would be a great versus.
No, I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah.
That versus. Storm is powerful. Now she's got all the elements, but also Isis does too.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. Yeah, and I think they reference her in Black Adam mythology as well, that he gets some power from her as well. So I mean, she's heavily referenced. Now, in the comment, Dr. B Speaks mentioned that Nephthys gets overlooked. And I've literally said that myself in other places, that Nephthys is completely overlooked, and without Nephthys, Auset is not able to. I mean, Nephthys and Auset were like the two tightest sisters. That's another component of who she was their relationship as two, like, they loved each other. Those are two tight sisters. Right. So it was significant that, as powerful as Isis or Set was, when she needed somebody, that's who she turned to, was Nephthys, who was there. And Nephthys gets no run. Why is that?
Well, I mean, just like we know about Aset, we don't have, nobody's really paid any attention to that, right? Not that she's not important. It's just that, she hasn't been looked at as saying, okay, what type of figure or what important role she played in that. We know it's quite significant, right? But we don't talk about that part. We just say, okay, Auset. But like a big sister would be to a little sister.
Right.
Okay, they was connected strongly.
Yeah,
and,
very
she leaned on her a lot.
Yeah.
So she should not be overlooked. Maybe we should do one on her.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to talk Nephthys. Like, she's one of my favorites. And like I said, I've always been conscious of the fact that she doesn't get the run that she deserves.
I mean, it's just, same with Amunet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and a lot of
gets no run. Yeah,
they just these people, I am constantly looking at all of this and saying we need to talk more about them because of their significant role in, the Kemetic mythology.
Yeah.
Moot needs to be paid attention to. She's a very essential figure in the triad.
Yeah.
In the South.
Yeah.
There's many other ones, but yes, Nephthys, she's coming soon.
We'll definitely speak on Nephthys, and I see people are in the comments, they're talking about Nephthys, so everybody's gonna have to keep repping Nephthys. That's absolutely right. It requires a lot more into kind of unveiling who she really was, like her own part, part of all this.
So as the comment section, so the question is, I mean, is she being requested?
Yeah, no, they're definitely telling us we need to talk about her.
Oh,
Yeah,
well then.
they're saying we need to talk about her. That's
Oh yeah, I
100%.
can't see the comments.
And
Okay.
and we also, yeah, they're also telling us we need to. Are we going to talk Sumerian? At some point, we'll talk Sumerian. Yes.
At some
Yeah. At
point,
some
yes,
point,
we
we'll talk
will.
Sumerian. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, we got to,
Um.
we got to bring these on down the list. So I sent you a couple of photos.
Yes, I
So
got
you
them
can
up
take a
there.
look at those.
Yeah.
And so, and tell me what you think about it.
I mean, I thought these were really good representations. I mean,
Well,
yeah,
well, there's other ones.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna enlarge this one here. I mean, hang on, wrong screen.
No, the other actually, there was two I sent you to your phone. Did you get those?
Yeah, these are them here. I don't. Can you
No,
see
the
them?
other ones.
Okay. Yeah, I've got them both up here, and they're both. I mean, like to me, this was like in my head. This is what Auset looks like. You know,
Yeah.
she's got obviously the beauty. This was a beautiful, beautiful representation.
Right.
It just exudes the power. Like, yeah, I love these images. It's absolutely beautiful imagery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had
That's
sent
one of
a
the best
couple
parts of
other,
it.
a couple other ones to your phone. Maybe you can grab those. I was going to send them to you in link, but I just send them to your phone, so you could probably grab those if you have them.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see if I can grab up here. Let me see here. Oh, you just sent right now? Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, let me get these over. Yeah. Let me get these over. Okay. Hang on. It's gonna take me a second here. Yeah, you guys are gonna be mad when I put these images up, by the way. That's the best part of this. I'm gonna have to email them to me.
I always like to hear that favorite saying.
What's that?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. You're gonna say some. Are you kidding me? When we see these here, these are absolutely crazy. They should hit my email right now. Let's see here. Come out of that there. Let's download you. Let's download you. These are very, very important images. We need to check these out, everybody. So I'm gonna drop these in the broadcaster here, guys. So these are the comic book representations of what Auset is, right? Very different than how we used to seeing her get repped, right? Why is like? Let's look at this one here, man. Let's look at this one here. All right. I mean, this is the main one here. This is Auset. Like, we can see Auset right there. This Auset, come on, man.
I had to do it, man. I couldn't help myself. Is because we know what Auset is,
Right.
right? But
Yeah.
what when we're looking at this, what does this say to you when you see this?
That Linda Carter played ISIS or something like.
No.
Yeah, I mean that's what it looks like. It looks like Linda Carter. Maybe you got Thandie Newton. I like the Thandie Newton better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a little sister in her right there. I like the Thandie Newton ISIS
But
better.
What's
this
interesting
ISIS
about
like,
that? Oh yeah, and what I like about that particular one in the middle, what does that say? What is that saying? It's sending a message.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah. I'm
the
sending you a
original
message
ISIS
about
from
this.
ancient Egypt. Why would that be there?
Yeah. Yeah, they letting you know.
They're letting you know.
They letting you know.
Okay, that one at the end is comic book references the most earliest version of her.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. I mean, it like you said, man. But they know your history. They know it. They take it, wrap it up, tell you, no, this is mine, and put it right in front of you.
everybody knows who you are except for you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I mean,
It's
that's
insanity.
clear.
It's insanity.
And what's interesting is we know how powerful Auset is just based on this imagery.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, yeah, because okay, you're right. One of the things that we will say about comic book guy is that they base all these powers that these figures do on their mythology, right? They are very detailed about that and how powerful she would have been as a warrior, wielding magic, control of the elements, things of that nature. Yeah, she would have been this representation. Yeah,
Okay.
they get
And
that. The only thing they do is change the skin and the hair.
well, but you see, we had a discussion yesterday
Right.
about Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Well, this cuts it right here.
Yeah.
It's black and white. You can see it plainly for yourself.
Yeah.
This type of discussion should, right, quench the fire pretty much, right,
Oh yeah.
of anybody who needs to see that. Because of course it's plain to see.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to show that because the imagery of Aset is so powerful. It's in comic books that has been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
A very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a premium example of what we're talking about, like what we've been talking about with media for a long time. I mean, like that just made it that's the most stark representation there. That they know her, they still speak her name, but they, and if you're not savvy enough to get past that, you won't realize who your own people were talking about or that association with your own people.
I go back and I, look at clips of that TV show I mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
I say to myself, how could I have missed that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I watched every episode. I missed none. And I love that show. I said, this is excellent. Right? And
Yes.
it didn't dawn on me because even in the beginning of the show, they show the amulet.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, they show that.
Yeah.
And they show a sister on there.
Yeah.
But I didn't get it. I couldn't connect
it's when it's well hidden though. I mean, we have to give them credit for hiding stuff. Like, it's an altered version of something already. So like, look, I don't know who those people are. Like, I hate to be conspiracy guy. I hate conspiracy guy, but I'm telling you, there's a conspiracy at foot, right? I don't know who puts it together, but the idea that how you take something and how you shift it so it's almost not recognizable, but it is. There's something to that. There's a nuance to that.
There's a saying on the show they always do every time the episode comes on, right? And so when I was just going to read a snippet of this, it says, "Oh, my queen, with this amulet, you and your descendants are empowered by the goddess Isis with the power of the elements."
Mm.
Now, these descendants, what descendants?
Ah.
Yes, see,
Yeah.
what descendants?
Yeah.
Who is she talking about? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, I never got that. I never understood it.
Yeah.
I go, wait a minute. The descendants of people that talked about the Nile, it talks about everybody who's descendants of who? Who are we talking about?
Right. Right.
The ancestors.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking about descendants. Okay, so descendants of people of the same, unless I'm wrong about that. Okay, the way I read that, she said, you and your descendants.
Yeah.
People after you.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that's very powerful.
I just never got it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, hold on, let me read that again.
Yeah.
And after reading and breaking it down, I was like, wow, this is powerful. Right?
Yeah.
Talking about the powers and all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So There's another snippet where she uses the term Almighty Isis, Almighty Aset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Almighty Mother.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
That's what I got from that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. Yeah. We had. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because I was kind of looking at, and these are all these aren't even all of them, but these are some of the epithets that were given to her. The great Auset, the great divine mother, nurse of Horus, mistress of all gods, lover of silence, lady of life, lady of joy, mistress of the beautiful west, mistress of the sycamore tree, second lady of heaven.
Right.
I am the born goddess, the great lady of magic, and the great lady. Just everything that is mentioned, even breathed with her, is of this greatness.
Yes. I am astounded by just all the stuff that she's associated with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have a very different perspective of her now. Very different perspective. I know of her, but not in depth, right?
Yes. Right.
But because of everything that's coming out, there's no question about it. None.
Yeah,
and the imagery there that we have that's posted here clearly says that. So, yeah, I'm still surprised as I continue to do more reading and researching on her and who she is and what she represents.
Someone mentioned in the comments the association with Aphrodite. How do you see her as represented in Greek culture? Would you agree with the Aphrodite reference? Is that what you're saying?
You're referring to me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Do you see her in Greek culture? What was she? Who was representing of her of Auset?
I see different parts of her in different months.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned earlier in our conversations about Athena.
Yes.
She would be an example of that. Maybe Aphrodite, but I'm thinking more of Athena.
Yeah, yeah. Now, okay. Real quick, someone in the comments asked the show that you were talking about, the ISIS show. Where is this at?
The ISIS show?
Yeah, or the show you were just talking about that you were what?
Oh, all they have to do is just YouTube it.
Okay.
Go to the ISIS television series.
Okay.
And they have, there's a plethora full of shows and clips and all of that, but it's pretty lengthy, and so they can watch it. It's there now. It used to be a whole. They have a DVD series, but on YouTube there's just clips of it, the show, and they can watch it.
Someone asked about what this show's about, whether it's entertainment or teaching. I don't feel like a teacher. I'm a person that I love mythology, and that's why we talk about it. So you can kind of take it as you will. Some people will come in and drop some literature. We share books, so it is what it is. Definitely, you can be a part.
Well, in my opinion, Nine World Chronicles is a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It's education and entertainment, because what I grab from all of this is that I like to learn about people and things. I like to share about people and things.
Yeah.
So we're sharing knowledge. Yeah. So the things that we've learned, we share.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about it. What I always appreciate is I want to have these conversations about our culture. Some things that maybe people weren't talking about. And, I do believe you're supposed to speak their name, and that's how you keep them, fresh for us, and making sure we have the right images up. When we see images that are really astray, we call it out. We do those things. So that's, for me, that's really the best part, is that we get to keep talking about, look, I love talking about these deities.
What I grab from this, and I love doing this because I do teach, right? So I do teach our culture and our history in the form of self-defense, the Montu arts. I talk about it all the time. I also do Zoom classes based on the Kemetic culture and mythology and history. So yeah, and so when I come to the show, I definitely like to share this type of knowledge because maybe a lot of people are not even aware of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And so we want to bring awareness to people, and I think this is a good way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 'cause like I said, for me, I got introduced into mythology in general by watching Clash of the Titans. I mean, you never know what sparks an interest in you, or you realize something else is out there, and that led to me just kind of digging and digging. And I was like, I can't remember how old I was, but I must have been about 13 or 14. And I was kind of like, man, where's all the mythology from Africa? Because I would go to I was a kid. I was a curious kid. I went to bookstores, went to libraries, and there just was not any great, like the Greek stuff was right there. It was always the easiest stuff. It was always going to be right in front of you. I mean, because even now, like I said, I live in what used to be, well, we all do, live in what used to be native culture and beliefs, and we see no literature about them. So it's, but we see like a heavy dose of what Greek people and Germanic people did in their beliefs.
Well, we talked about Andromeda. I mean, I had no clue, and I love that movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Well, when I found out about Andromeda, I was blown away.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's an awareness.
Yeah, it's an awareness. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how come they didn't have that sister in that movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did not have her in that movie.
Any of them.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah.
So
none of the Andromeda were correct.
Yeah. So to me, it's all about bringing awareness to people. So when I learned that, when we share that, other people will know, hey, yeah, this should have been accurate. Okay. Yeah. The case of Memnon and Achilles, same situation.
Right.
Okay. And of course it goes on and on. But what we're trying to do is trying to share that knowledge, because for me, as I mentioned about watching the TV show ISIS, that was my favorite show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I mentioned earlier, when I find out about Aset and what role she played in that TV series, I was blown away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why not be aware of what something truly really was?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, find out the truth about it, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, and we know that now. So I'm completely 100% even more happy now that I know what something really truly, what it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Who she really was and what she represented.
Yeah. Okay, so I was looking, when I started looking her up, I saw some, the literature I was looking at did associate her with Athena, but also Demeter and Hera. Selene, Cybele, and then also Astarte, who at Astarte would be Sumerian, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's also Inanna, right? Astarte is also Inanna. So, I mean, which, you look at those other cultures, and she was also venerated as the, like, look, look, I have my issues with Inanna. I don't know if I've ever gone over this with you. I have my issues with Inanna. But she was a badass too. I mean, she also like walked down to the underworld. Like, she's known for descending to the underworld and walking back out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, so every way that you look at this figure, and that becomes one of the most, I think, the most interesting part of looking at mythology is like trying to find these connections of how different people were talking about what's probably the same figure.
If I was to say this, I believe that Auset's wisdom is, I don't want to say equal to Tahuti, but she's right up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking, right, she's way out there when it comes to that type of knowledge. So you know that you're pretty bad when you have that type of wisdom, right? In the Greek mythology, Athena's like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you got to really, and I speak on this wisdom because that's how, if you look at the history of the Spartans, when they need counsel to be able to battle an enemy, Leonidas sought wisdom.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So when Leonidas is, that was a very wise king. A lot of people don't, if you don't know much about him, he was a great military king, but he looked at wisdom as a part of strategy for battle.
Right.
Okay. And so that was something that that's highly regarded.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. One of the significant myths that I heard about Auset was, Heru has been battling with Set, going back and forth, and finally it comes to, the rest of the gods say, okay, we got to settle this, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna have this council where they settle this issue with Set and Heru, and Set arranges it so that Auset will be banned. Okay, and because he fears her too. He knows her intelligence. Like, Set, that's my man and all. You're not known for your intelligence, and she's a heavyweight in that regard, in that mental game. So he has, I think it's on this island. I can't remember the name of it, but he has his guys watching the gate, and they're like, "Look, do not let Auset into this council, this meeting." And she, of course, being as wise, using her intelligence, completely runs circles around the poor guardsman, who I'm sure got punished by Set later. Heavily, right? And she gets into the council, and she spits it. She breaks it down before this council of the other deities why her son is the rightful heir and the king, and she couldn't be denied in the argument that she made. And ultimately, they make a decision to do this, and they give Set some. They give him some stuff. They give him some consolation prize. I think he gets a couple of wives, right, out of the situation. And they give him whatever it is. They satiate Set, but this is what actually ascends Heru to the throne.
Well, yeah, because Set's not going to walk out of this meeting without nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Y'all gotta. What are we gonna do? We gotta make a deal with him, right? We gotta give him. Okay, we just can't, So that's what they did. But also, Heru was trained to fight Set. Now you have to remember, he got some heavy training from his mother.
Yes. Yes.
He got some heavy training on how to fight his uncle.
Yes, that's right.
The combat skills of Heru is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Set couldn't be stopped. That was the whole thing. Set could not. When in the mythology that I know, when he attacks Asar, he does it in full view of everyone, and they could not stop him. That's who Set was. He was the ultimate, right?
And Heru fought him. Yeah, Heru fought him to a standstill.
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now you have to remember now, you're trained by your mother.
Yeah. In isolation.
To fight him.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what does that say?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go speak on that one.
There are many examples throughout history and mythology about mothers training their sons. Okay. Shaka Zulu's mother was a very big influence in his life.
Okay.
Very powerful. Okay. That's why he was able to do a lot of things that he did.
Yeah.
Eos was a very big influence in Memnon's life. To become this great military king who was world-renowned and not defeated in battle, that's because you got a lot of wisdom from the Titan.
Right.
You see, same example. What does that say about mothers?
I mean, it shows why they were revered. Because
no question about it.
I mean, okay,
Absolutely.
let me, because man, I'm trying to find this name for her. I want to say that she was associated. What was her name? She is the throne. Like, what was that representation? Either she was a throne, or she was the one behind the throne.
Yeah, I gave you also another. Yeah, he was behind the throne with the wings covering a star. I showed you that picture also. And so so she was so she is very much the Harvard one. So next to her with the wings would be someone like Ma'at.
Yes.
But absolutely, she's absolutely there covering the throne, because remember now, she's the mother, so she's the one that covers the child, covers she's a part of the motherhood and all that type of stuff. Yeah, so she represents the woman with wings and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is like I said, guys, we haven't talked. Like I've done some short videos about her, just kind of as I've been doing with the other ones. But she is truly a special one among them. I got a short list. These are all the things that are sacred to her. If you were making offerings to her, gardenia flower, jasmine, iris, blue lotus, white lilies, stargazer lilies, the rose, the sistrum, the bloodstone, the moonstone, pearls, almonds. Apparently she likes honeys, dates, figs, pomegranate, sweet wine, rose quartz, lapis lazuli, which was huge in that time, right? Coral, avertine, gold, frankincense, milk, and saffron are all things that were offerings to this nectar.
Yeah, having gold is important now. So remember now.
Yeah.
I
mean, afraid to sprinkle a little gold on there.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Because gold, I was explaining this to my friends, like, people still don't understand the power of gold. Outside of whatever people think, it's a special metal. If you want, that's why they use, gold is used for advanced technology.
Of course.
You want, because it doesn't rust, right? And because it conducts energy at 100%. It's like the most efficient conductor of energy. So if you were going to make a spaceship, right? Say you were going to do something like that could go to other galaxies, you'd have to have gold circuitry, because right now nothing else has the ability to transmute energy the same way that gold does. So that was the big association. So when we look at the Kemetic culture and all that gold, to me that was speaking to their technology, not just to like, ooh, it's golden. There was purpose behind that.
Well, it was on the pyramids and all the Tekkens.
Yes.
I mean, you know how much gold that would be to put on top of the Tekken?
Yeah. Conduits of energy.
Oh, yeah. It's real serious. I mean, that's... I mean, how big that was.
Yeah.
I mean, to be solid gold, gold. And it's heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you be able to get it on the top of a pyramid? It's just amazing. That's
a part of the technology. Like I said, I have people who want to argue about different things, and my friend was, I was mentioning to him that they can't figure out how you built these pyramids. They still can't. He's like, oh no, they figured out. I'm like, no, they have not figured out the process by which they built those pyramids or what their real purpose was. I've always thought it's been, well, obviously it's that connection to the Sirius star, which I thought it was a conduit of energy or of passage or of communication. And some work, but you needed it to be that focal point of energy.
Yeah, I mean, how do you, engrave, the Meduneter, hieroglyphs? We say Meduneter, right? How do you engrave that on these Tekkens that weigh tons?
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing technology to be able to put together something to be able to do that and for it to stand for thousands of years.
Yeah, you knew it needed to stand for thousands of years, because if they could have destroyed it, it already would have happened. That's the whole thing. This stuff had to be tough.
I'm a big person on weaponry, and they're still trying to figure out how these chariots were built. They can't recreate some of the ancient technology of the weaponry of ancient time.
Right.
There's still questions about, Tutankhamun, we call him Tutankhamun's dagger. They say it's a meteorite that came out, they made it into a sword or a dagger. They're still trying to figure that out.
Not surprised.
It was
advanced. They were advanced, an advanced civilization.
Yes.
Well, look, this kind of brings us to the end of our hour for, Thursdays. I hope we did a good job of talking about Aset. Like I said, I learned a lot about her just kind of doing some prep for this episode.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, and I definitely don't think this is the last time we'll talk about her. In fact, this is kind of probably a reason to do more kind of in-depth conversations about her.
And Nefties.
You definitely Nefties. Definitely
Yes.
Nefties.
You're
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, but
So,
like I said, I kind of see it now. One thing I was gonna throw out, I always, I told you, man, I have a special thing with Hathor, Sekhmet, and we've been talking about all these powerful guys, and I'm like, I don't want her to be left out because I don't think that Set messes with her, man.
no,
I don't think he messes with her. He never wanted it with her.
no, that says a lot right there.
Yeah, that says a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like, you never heard him even riling her up because we already know what she's willing to do, man.
Yeah, she's ready.
She set it off.
Yeah, she'll set it. Yeah, she'll duke it out with him.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah, that might be the verse
Okay.
for the future too.
Would that be like? Did you see that movie called "Set It Off" with Queen Latifah?
Yes, most definitely.
Well, so was it like that? I mean, her attitude.
Yeah,
You
very
know,
much. Yeah,
very strong, right?
very strong. I'm not playing with you.
In your face.
Yeah,
Real serious.
yeah, it's real
Okay.
serious.
So
Yeah.
so I'm with you 100%, man. She never bounced that, man. I believe that's the reason for that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, absolutely.
Because he knew.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna walk around this one.
yeah, exactly, 100%, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back. Who are we talking about next week?
Well, I wanted to know if you were interested in doing a Q&A.
Okay.
Because there's some people we want to give thanks to.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And why we do what we do. And I'm glad one of the people in the comments mentioned if it is education, if it's entertainment, we want to just give thanks to people that brought things to us that made a difference.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah. No, I feel good about that. So that's what we're gonna do next week, guys. So thank you guys for stopping in. Obviously, join us on Thursday Night Mythology. We love our discussions. Obviously, this will be on the channel. We'll kind of chop it up into some smaller pieces. We have some other supporting videos if you guys want to check that out as well. And we'll have our documentation so you can check out Tennis and myself. We always respond to comments. So anything you want to throw in the comment section, we'll definitely get back at you. But thank you again for stopping in. Join us here at 9 World Chronicles.
Excellent. Thank you.